Please be seated. On behalf of the faculty, staff, and student body of the college, I want to welcome each and every one of you to this baccalaureate service. Much of what takes place on American campuses each May or June harkens far back to the beginnings of the modern academy, which began in the early years of the 13th century at the great cathedral schools in Paris, Oxford, and in Bologna. At the end of the academic term, great care was ritually taken to celebrate the students' achievements in a number of ways. Communal meals were planned with elaborate attention to detail. And tomorrow, following our commencement, there will be, in like manner, a communal meal for the college community. During commencement, the faculty will wear their robes of various hues and shapes. Those robes worn here in the 21st century literally have their ancestors in the clerical vestments worn by the monks and the priests who made up the professoriate in the 13th century. This service of baccalaureate hails from a solemn high mass that was sung inside the cathedrals prior to the service of commencement, just like we're having baccalaureate here the day before commencement, at which time the students had their degrees conferred officially by their local bishop. The black bachelor's robes, just worn by our graduating seniors, are exact replicas of the black robes worn both at baccalaureate and at commencement by the students in medieval times. So you see, we're carrying forward a tradition that is centuries in the making. At the beginning of the baccalaureate service, after the procession of the graduates, their faculty, the attending priests, and the deans, and then at the end, the bishop, there would be an invocation. Thus, in traditions hallowed by time, let us pray. Almighty God, we beseech thee with thy gracious favor to behold our nation's universities, colleges, and schools, especially Sweetbriar College, and today especially our graduating seniors, their proud families, and the faculty and staff who have nurtured our students along the way. In all our nation's schools, may knowledge be increased among us and all good learning flourish and abound. Bless all who have taught and all who have learned in this place, and grant that in humility of heart, our seniors may ever look unto thee, who art the fountain of all wisdom. Amen.
Welcome, class of 2015, and friends and family to Baccalaureate. I'm happy to see all the smiling faces and feel the love that fills this room. Thanks to you all for coming. Traditionally, Baccalaureate is a religious ceremony, which is a service of worship and celebration of, and thanksgiving for, lives dedicated to learning and wisdom. Here at Sweetbriar, it is a service celebrating the graduates, as well as highlighting their accomplishments. This is when we, as seniors, turn in our daisies and we receive our first rose. This is significant to us as Sweetbriar women, because our school motto, the words written on the Sweetbriar seal, arosam quae maruit feram, meaning she who has earned the rose may bear it. We will receive our roses today, and we will bear them proudly now and in our bright futures.
Good afternoon, Sweetbriar class of 2015, esteemed faculty, family members, and alumni. For those of you that may not know me, my name is Ashley Tomlin, and I truly cannot put into words what an honor it is to have the opportunity to be standing in front of this wonderful community at this very moment. When I was asked to compose this particular speech prior to the closing announcement, I knew exactly what I wanted to say, and that message has not changed. In fact, it may have accumulated a much deeper meaning over the past few months. As an Amherst County native, my history with Sweetbriar College began long before I made my first footprint here as a freshman. From visiting my grandmother here as a child, fishing at the lake with my family, to having high school swim meets at Williams Gym, Sweetbriar has been an integral piece of my life. As I am sure this holds true for many of us here today, some of the most pivotal stepping stones that led me to be where I am today began to be paved my senior year in high school. As a matter of fact, my high school ecology teacher, Chris Chamberlain, who I hope is sitting amongst you all today, was one of the most influential reasons that led me to be where I am right here in this very moment. He taught me to have pride in my own sense of nerdiness, because intelligence is something that no one can take from you. He continually believed in me, even when I didn't believe in myself. He opened up many new doors for me during my senior year in high school, one of which made me realize my passion for the field of science, and the other which encouraged me to apply to Sweetbriar College as an undergraduate. Had he not been such an advocate for encouraging young women to make their marks in the vast world of the sciences, had he not been such an advocate for Sweetbriar College, I probably wouldn't be standing here in front of you today. I wouldn't have had the privilege of building lifelong relationships with such amazing colleagues and faculty. I would not have realized my passion for the field of psychology while sitting in Guion, room A01, listening to Dr. Susan Beers give a lecture. I wouldn't have had the immensely constructive, yet utterly traumatizing experience of facing my fear of public speaking in Tim Lobachevsky's experimental stats class. He's probably going to put me on the list for that one. I wouldn't have made the same life-changing realizations or decisions that I have made here at Sweetbriar. Without that one person crossing my path at that precise moment, my life course probably would have been very different. I am sure many of you have had someone similar in your lives who has encouraged you and impacted your life in ways they may never truly know. As I'm sure many of you can relate, you know that it only takes one person, one instant, to change someone's life completely. Today, I want each of you to take a moment and remember the things that drew you to this campus to begin with. Remember the reasons that you decided to bear your Sweetbriar rose. Be in that moment for just a few seconds. Recall the moment that Sweetbriar lit that passionate, life-changing fire inside of your soul. Hold on to that moment, those reasons. Never let that fire die. Take your important piece of Sweetbriar with you wherever you go. Even though our community is enduring the darkest, most trying storm it ever has, just remember that after every storm comes the sunlight. Be that light. Share your light with others wherever you go and wherever this uncertain time takes you. Be that one person who changes someone's life. Be that spark that sets someone's soul to a passionate fire, just as Sweetbriar did for you. While all of us begin the journey of moving forward, just remember, in the words of James Keller, a candle loses nothing by lighting another candle. Please welcome Holly Halford.
From Emily Bronte's Wuthering Heights. I have dreamt in my life dreams that have stayed with me ever after and changed my ideas. They have gone through and through me, like wine through water, and altered the color of my mind. And this is one, I'm going to tell it, but take care not to smile at any part of it. Please welcome Olivia Muchmore. My time at Sweetbriar has not taught me what it means to be a woman. I have learned endlessly during the past 4 years here about myself and the world and scholarship. But I can say assuredly that I will leave this beautiful place tomorrow not knowing what womanhood is. My education here has been nuanced and challenging. It has been intensive. At Sweetbriar, I came to identify unequivocally as a feminist. I've experienced the extent of my strengths and been awed by the strengths of my peers. This education, within and beyond the classroom, has been too holistic for me to believe that I can speak to the experience of all women, even that of all Sweetbriar women. And this is not to say that all of us are women, because we aren't. Furthermore, the causes of empowerment and equity do not only apply to whatever definition of women each of us was raised with, but to all who are disenfranchised because their identities do not place them in a position of societal power. We are united in this place. We are bonded to it, and through that bond, to one another. But the obstacles we face to arrive here, and those we shall face in pursuit of our goals, are not the same for every Sweetbriar student graduating tomorrow. The world does not allow for a homogenized experience of humanity, of femininity, feminism, or gender. This is what my time at Sweetbriar has taught me. Not that I understand and am bonded to other women by virtue of my own identity, but that my understanding of what women are must be checked. There is hardship and virtue in the lives of countless others who, like me, are called a woman, but whose singular and collective experiences of place, class, race, religion, culture, and more mean that I cannot say that my hindrances and my needs in society are the same as theirs. And after my education here, I go into the world with this in mind, that the extreme privilege of earning my education at Sweetbriar has allowed me to understand so much, including how very little I can claim to understand effortlessly, without the discomfort that comes with acceptance of my own ignorance, and the challenge that comes with pursuing knowledge with an open mind. I move forward from my education here more compassionate and less willing to accept that the empowerment of one woman is necessarily the empowerment of another, that the social, political, cultural needs of one group of women do not necessarily apply to all, that one student's experience at Sweetbriar cannot stand for every other, nor should it. It would be limiting to claim that this institution has provided us and those who came before us with a common experience. To make this claim would be to dismiss the multiplicity of the students who have benefited from Sweetbriar and of the people who have lived and worked to make it the remarkable college that it is. To speak to the experience and the empowerment of all of us here today is not something that Sweetbriar taught me to do, and I'm grateful for that. The empowerment of women is not simple or simply accomplished. At Sweetbriar, I have received an education that has shown me the ways in which I am limitless. It has also allowed me to learn that my perspective will always be limited by circumstance. This tension between the limitlessness and the limits of knowledge promotes an appreciation for the insights of those outside myself. It illustrates the centrality of learning and the need for manifold perspectives. My education at Sweetbriar did not teach me what it means to be a woman. It taught me that I cannot know, and that knowledge is inexpressibly valuable. Please welcome Sistine Abrial.
From To a Woman of India by Mahatma Gandhi. To call women the weaker sex is a libel. It is man's injustice to women. If by strength is meant brute strength, then indeed is womanness brute than man. If by strength is meant moral power, then woman is immeasurably man superior. Has she not greater intuition? Is she not more self-sacrificing? Has she not greater powers of endurance? Has she not greater courage? Without her, man could not be. If nonviolence is the law of our being, the future is with women. Who can make a more effective appeal to the heart than women? Please welcome Morgan Garrison.
I'm a firm believer that Taylor Swift has a song for any situation. Maybe it's just because she's close in age to us, or because I've been listening to her music since I first heard her song Tim McGraw back in 2006, but I've always gravitated toward her music when I'm feeling any kind of way. The closer and closer we got to graduation, the more her song Long Live started playing in my head. Just like we are now, Taylor was at a crossroads when she wrote the song. Written as she was finishing her whirlwind year with the Fearless album, the song is about soaking up every moment you're given and celebrating accomplishing your goals. Well, y'all, the kingdom lights are shining for us now. None of us had a platinum record or a sold-out tour in our 4 years, but we've written theses, gotten into graduate school, danced like maniacs, won games and awards, and made it to our graduation. And to be honest, being here with all of you, this feels better. Even though it's pretty scary venturing out into the real world after graduation, and even scarier when we aren't certain what we're leaving behind us. But like Taylor sings in the bridge, may these memories break our fall. It's hard to imagine what's coming next, but right now, it doesn't matter. We've had an amazing experience and memories to look back on to give us strength. We were given the opportunity of a lifetime to be able to learn and grow in this beautiful place, surrounded by all these amazing people. No one will ever be able to take that away. And yes, the status quo has changed, but now it's up to us to take everything that we've learned and spread the legacy to the rest of the world. That is the one of the best things that we can do to serve the memory of the founders of this college. We must take Indiana Fletcher Williams' dream of empowerment and opportunity for women and work towards it no matter what we end up doing with our lives or where we end up living. This school has given us so much that it would be impossible to pay it back, but that should not stop us from paying it forward. So as we celebrate moving on to the next chapter, I want you to dance like you know our lives will never be the same. I wish I could sing so I could move you all to tears with a beautiful rendition of the song I found so quotable. But I'll just leave you with this. Will you take a moment, promise me this, that you'll stand by me forever, but if God forbid fate should step in and force us into a goodbye, if you have children someday, when they point to the pictures, please tell them my name. Tell them how the crowds went wild. Tell them how I hope they shine. I hope you all shine, class of 2015. Long, long live. Please welcome Verena Yorker.
An excerpt from Maya Angelou's Still I Rise. You may write me down in history with your bitter, twisted lies. You may trod me in the very dirt, but still, like dust, I'll rise. Does my sassiness upset you? Why are you beset with gloom? 'Cause I walk like I've got oil wells pumping in my living room. Just like moons and like suns with the certainty of tides, just like hopes springing high, still I'll rise. Did you want to see me broken? Bowed head and lowered eyes, shoulders falling down like teardrops, weakened by my soulful cries? Does my haughtiness offend you? Don't you take it awful hard, 'cause I laugh like I've got gold mines digging in my own backyard. You may shoot me with your words, you may cut me with your eyes, you may kill me with your hatefulness, but still, like air, I'll rise. Please welcome Jax Bullitt.
Four years ago, I picked this college to attend, like many of you did before me. For whatever reason it was, it brought each and every one of us here. For me, I love the environment, the people, and its legacy. On a day-to-day basis, you can hear most of us complain about our horrible meal we had in Prothrow, our 30-minute drive into town, and our inability to get on Netflix because of the Wi-Fi. Overall, though, I would say that my experience at this school has been nothing short of amazing. I have had amazing professors, coaches, and friends to help me through these years. I am sure if I asked any one of you, you could tell me your favorite memories from our time here. As a class, we have gone through a lot of events here on campus together. For example, we can all remember where we were during the earthquake freshman year. And those of you in my Y1 class remember sitting in Panel 202 as it struck.
Sophomore year, Ann Breyer blew up during finals. We all flocked to Prothrow, sat at tables talking, doing homework, and sharing power strips. Junior year, we were hit with mountains of snow, and we can all remember when the email and text came in saying classes would be canceled. Our final year here has been a roller coaster. From lockdowns to closure, it's been one heck of a year. Despite these recent hardships, I have faith that we will all make it through. As the last class to graduate from our beloved institution, we must go out and make the most of our lives. Even though it might be an ending for the institution, we are still here and can show the world that they can take our bricks and buildings, but the spirit of Sweetbriar lives within us, and we will go out and make the most of everything we have worked for. Sweetbriar women have been making an impact in this world since 1901. And as we all depart on our different paths, whether that be grad school, law school, or finding a job in the workforce, we must all carry ourselves with perseverance and dignity. I hope in 5 to 10 years we can all look back at our time here with our sisters and laugh about it. Knowing what I know now, I would never choose another school. It has taught me a lot about who I am and who I want to be. Being at the school has helped us all become strong, independent women, and I believe that each of us has the ability to be extraordinary in our endeavors. This is a new beginning for us, and although we don't know what the future has in store, when I look around and see the faces of all my friends around the room, I know that there will be good things to come. Please welcome Annabelle Wallace.
Mid-August 2011, a desperate wheeze, the tired whir of the wheels of the overstuffed carry-on pushed to its limits, and the pre-recorded airport announcements in a southern yet incongruously cold accent. This is the soundtrack of the 12 a.m. dash for the airplane. Our hero, a semi-frantic yet elegantly tall girl, races to the end of the terminal, only to face defeat. It was her first time traveling totally alone, third connecting flight of the day on her trip across the country, probably the 20th terminal, and what felt like the final defeat. An hour later, she waited for her hotel shuttle, throat thick from a combination of muggy air and swallowed tears. There, standing alone in the late night, early morning come and go, our hero accepted her sad fate. She would arrive too late. All the other students would meet and bond and begin to make friendships that would last all 4 years, and she would miss it. She would always be trying to catch up, but never would, all because she was going to miss those first 5 hours of orientation. When I get like that, my family understands the theater major. Happily, I was wrong in the first of many ways. When you're young, you develop this image of your future self in your mind. Being young, I know such things. You have this ideal person you'll be when I get there, or when I'm that age, or when I'm in charge. This person who is put together, smooth, graceful, and has such an awesome sense of fashion. You build this future self up in your head. They become your hope, your guiding light. Suddenly, the future is now. You are that age. You're in charge, and you realize that you never actually got around to becoming that ideal person. The start of college is a huge kick in the rear that way. You were going to be the collegiate dream. Homework in on time, early to class with hair and makeup done, and reading completed with notes. Standing on that curb, I wasn't the person I had imagined, the person I pinned my hopes on. The future is now, and you're just yourself, unfinished, a little bit broken, facing the dream you have worked for so long and ready to run away. I'm still not the woman that my 18-year-old self imagined I would be now. I don't worry about that anymore because of all the fathomless wisdom I have gained over the last 4 years. 4 years is nothing in the average lifespan. 4 years with the mentors and students here has been a beautiful little eternity. Strip away your imagined ideals, and you are left with reality in all its simple complexities, its butterfly and earthquake surprises. The reality here is sweatpants and pearls, sassy responses showing utter respect, impossible expectations and gentle comfort, and friendships. Friendships that cannot be encapsulated in a word or a speech or 4 years. Friendships that hook into your heart from Facebook stalkers and Snapchat addicts to the friend you haven't talked to in years, but when they call, no time has passed at all. This is reality. I didn't imagine it. As women, we are constantly the subject of imagination. Society has a long list of qualities for us to meet. Throw it out. Make your own. Think of the mentors that showed you kindness as they gave you hell. The friends who fought at your side through calculus and Plato, the equally indecipherable Shakespeare and Ockham, and helped parse the nuanced implications of the late-night booty call. Think of families born into or made who created a warm home for you to land. Remember every time you fell and the person who helped you get back up. Think of their best qualities, the reasons that kept you going. Write those down. These people, they are the list of the ideal you want to live up to. But give yourself a kind due date. Not a year, 5 or 10. We have worked for an education to last us a life, and it will take us a life to fulfill. And don't procrastinate. Beautiful eternities are shorter than we hope.
It is now my pleasure to introduce to you Sandra A. Taylor, current president of Sweetbriar's Alumni Association, and member of the board of directors. Sandra graduated from Sweetbriar in 1974 with her BA in mathematics. She continued her education at the University of Rochester, where she received her MBA in 1982. She is currently SSVP Compliance Manager for SunTrust Mortgage in Richmond, Virginia. She also has served on numerous volunteer and civic organizations, with her most recent as Board of Director Vice Chair for the Young Women's Christian League. Sandra has a sister, Dr. Marche Taylor Horton, who graduated from Sweetbriar in 1976. Sandra has a deep love and devotion for her parents, siblings, extended family, and Sweetbriar. Ladies and gentlemen, please join me in welcoming Sandra A. Taylor.
Thank you, Rebecca, for that lovely introduction. I hope this is going not to upset anyone, but could the lights be raised in the audience? I'd like to be able to see some of the people that are sitting out there today for this baccalaureate. That's about it. Okay, well, it is indeed an honor for me to be with the members of the graduating class of 2015 and your families and friends. I want to congratulate you on this achievement. You've reached a major milestone. When I entered Sweetbriar as a member of the class of 1974, my class looked very different on the outside from yours. I was the only African American student in my class, a fact that did not dawn on me when I was looking at colleges and fell in love with Sweetbriar. But it was a fact that deeply concerned my parents. But more about this and me in a few minutes. I'm pleased to see a much more diverse class in front of me today, one that is much more reflective of our country. While we may look different and clearly are unique, I want to focus on what's inside each of us that is remarkably similar and worthy of kindness and respect from one another. Today marks the beginning of your transition to a life away from Sweetbriar College. Today's gathering gives us an opportunity to reflect. A quiet moment before the applause and cheers that tomorrow will bring. It gives us a chance to look back and also to look forward, to consider who you are today and who you want to be and what you want to do with your life. And I don't necessarily mean what job you will take or where your career will take you, but how you decide to live your life. Now, don't worry. There won't be an exam at the end of today's ceremony where you have to answer those questions. Those are questions for you to answer for yourself and to yourself as part of life's ongoing exam. I mentioned earlier about how each and every one of us is deserving of kindness and respect. Let's take a moment to reflect on the past week, which I know has been intense. So everyone, take a deep breath. And now, in the quiet of the day and in this beautiful space, I'd like you to ask yourself, was I kind to someone this week? A classmate? A roommate? A professor? A member of the administration? Someone who works in the dining hall, at the bookshop, security, buildings and grounds, the housekeeping staff, at the bistro. Perhaps someone in the Amherst community, at the bank, at the Food Lion, at Vito's, at the Briar Patch. What about your family members who have traveled here to be with you on this momentous occasion? I hope the answer was yes, that you clearly remember being kind to someone. Now, I'd like you to take another moment and ask yourself, was I unkind to someone this week? Ask yourself why, and if you could have a do-over, would you handle it differently? Could you find a way to be kind? I hope the answer is that if you had a do-over, that you'd choose kindness over stress, anger, or frustration. I challenge you to every day find a way to make it a better day, not just for yourself, but also for those around you. What may seem like a small kindness to you may make the difference in someone else's day or even their life. For those of us who recall the Aesop fable about the lion and the mouse, let's remember the moral of that fable: no act of kindness, no matter how small, is ever wasted. I have learned in the 41 years since I accepted my diploma from Sweetbriar that anger and incivility are time wasted. It actually takes more time and emotional energy to be that person than the person who was kind. Remember to treat every day, even the bad ones, as a gift. That's time you'll never get back. As you start the next chapter of your life, please think not only with your head, but also with your heart. Keep in mind that being kind costs you nothing, but may greatly enrich the life of another. Please be especially kind to your family this weekend and to each other. Seeing you through the last 4 years has been a journey for them too. They've worried with you and about you whenever you had a setback, and probably kept worrying long after you were past it. They've rejoiced in and been proud of your achievements, and certainly none more so than when you graduate tomorrow. You will never be together in this way again. Enjoy it, celebrate, savor it, and be present. If just for a few moments tomorrow, raise your eyes from the activity on your phone or tablet and take it all in. For all the ways social media allows us to be connected, it can also separate us, distract us, and allow us to be misunderstood. And so I plead with you to enjoy tomorrow through your own eyes, not exclusively through a lens or screen. Yes, of course, take a lot of pictures, record video, but please take the time to see each other, your families, your friends, the speaker, and the ceremony. Take in the panoramic view of the weekend with your eyes, your mind, and your heart until you have it firmly in your memory. Yes, of course, I know you'll post to your Facebook and Instagram pages, so those who cannot be with you can be a part of your experience, and that you'll tweet some highlights. No doubt some of you are doing that right now. But please remember to take in the full experience. Be the active listener your amazing professors have taught you to be. The connectedness you gain from watching, listening, evaluating, and analyzing is one reason Sweetbriar is so special. Make sure that the lessons learned here, both inside and outside the classroom, stay with you for decades beyond your days here. Because of Sweetbriar's size, we have no choice but to connect with one another. It's why we form strong bonds that last a lifetime. The friends I made my first year are still my friends today. We can pick up where we left off, whether we talk every week or once a year. So let's go back just for a minute to that African-American high school senior from Richmond, Virginia, whose parents were concerned about her coming to Sweetbriar in 1970. This isn't a story about me, but rather it's a story about a person here who extended to me great kindness. My parents, unknown to me at the time, talked with Nancy Baldwin, who was the director of admissions for the college, about my experience on campus. My father expressed his concerns to her. He worried about whether I would make friends and how I would cope in this environment, which was so different from my high school experience. I graduated from a Richmond public high school that was totally African American. How, my father wondered, could I fit in here? Because he and my mother immediately saw what I did not, the lack of other students of color. Mrs. Baldwin assured him, as only she could, that she knew that I would fit in and that I would thrive. But she also promised my father that she would look out for me. Little did she know what a commitment she was making and the kindness she was offering. I say that not because I had the challenges my parents feared. I had a wonderful experience at Sweetbriar. Instead, I needed her most when I was preparing to leave Sweetbriar. In the second semester of my senior year, I faced the challenge of not knowing what I would do after graduation. At spring break, my senior year, my dad wanted to know what had I done about finding a job. I didn't have much to tell him, and I certainly didn't have one lined up, at least not yet. True to her word, Mrs. Baldwin had kept up with me, and so when I faced this dilemma, I went to see her to talk it over. She encouraged me to make an appointment with career counseling, but she also told me that her office had a few openings for travelers. In my day, that's what we call the admissions counselors, who went around the country to recruit students. She made no guarantees, but encouraged me to apply. I'm happy to report that I spent 2 wonderful years as a traveler for the college, from which I am also a proud graduate of the unofficial Nancy Baldwin School of Public Speaking. It's a skill that I cherish to this day and have used in every position I've ever had. That experience gave me the confidence to speak to prospective students and their parents, high school counselors, to deliver presentations in my MBA classes, and to speak up in meetings with CEOs. After a couple of years, a math major who had worked in college admissions was ready for a new challenge. And so I started working at Wachovia in human resources. After 4 years there, I was feeling restless and ready for something else. So I was accepted to the MBA program at the University of Rochester, where I pursued a degree with an analytical emphasis. I stayed in New York and worked at Kodak for a while, but my family was in Richmond, and I wanted to be closer to them. So I found my way back to banking with SunTrust. Even though I've been at the same place for a number of years, I've had the opportunity to work in product management, client experience, performance management, and most recently in mortgage operational risk and compliance. I wouldn't, however, have achieved any of my professional accomplishments without the kindness and respect I was shown along the way, starting first with Mrs. Baldwin and the Sweetbriar community. Throughout my life, I've tried to keep kindness, respect, and connectedness at the forefront of every interaction I have. It's never too late to start or too early to begin. I hope you will leave here doing the same. I promise you that as your life evolves and takes many twists and turns, you can't imagine today that you will never regret the kindness you show to others. May God bless you in your life ahead.
I've heard a lot of speeches that's one of the best in my whole career.
Good. At the beginning of Baccalaureate, the seniors turned in a daisy. They will now come up on the stage and accept a rose. She who has earned the rose may bear it.
If you would, please remain standing. At the conclusion of both the baccalaureate and commencement services in the Middle Ages, before the retiring procession, the presiding bishop would pronounce a benediction and then send the graduating students out into their adult lives, diplomas in hand, to face their futures with courage, humility of purpose, and forbearance. Let us pray. O Lord, support us all the day long, until the shadows lengthen and the evening comes, and the busy world is hushed, and the fever of life is over, and our work is done. Then in thy great mercy, grant to the class of 2015 a safe lodging and a holy rest and peace every day of their lives. Amen. The bishop would then conclude both the baccalaureate and, far more importantly, the commencement with the phrase, since all the services were conducted at the time in Latin, Valete et Deus vos semper benedicat. Farewell, farewell, and may God bless you forever. The baccalaureate service for the class of 2015 is hereby concluded. I hope all of you will join us in the lawns of Sweetbriar House for a reception honoring our seniors and their families after the senior class recesses.